Polka Dot Troubles. Text and illustrations by Victor Pavlov. Someone is crying in the wood. Should I check whom? I think I should. Let me peek under the blackberry bush. Oh, what a surprise! Oh, Ladybird, hush, hush. Oh, why are you crying? Please tell me why, asked the ant who was passing by, slowly rolling a big wheat grain. Because the ants don't have a train to carry wheat for all their needs. They push by feet these golden seeds.
Thank you for asking, Mrs. Ant. To stop crying, I really can't. Splashed by raindrops yesterday, I think my dots were washed away from my shiny coat and dress. This is why I'm so depressed. I can fly and I can even crawl, but I can't draw black dots at all. It would be wonderful right now if you could draw them back somehow.
The old ant nodded her hairless head, thought for a second, and suddenly said, "Oh, your story sounds rather sad, my ladybird, and I feel bad to know that I am strong and tough when it comes to heavy stuff, that I can, in shine or rain, gather tons and tons of grain. But I can't draw a single dot. It's hard to say, but I cannot. Oh, as we talk, it comes to me you should find Miss Honeybee. Oh, she is clever and travels a lot. I'm sure she'll fix your dress and coat."
Do you think the busy bee would have the time to meet with me?
Oh, of course she would, and certainly she has much more style than me.
Where could I find her, do you know?
Oh, check the flowers, row by row in the meadow right below that old and bushy willow tree over there. Can you see? Said Mrs. Ant, and started to roll her big grain like a golden ball.
Thank you, Mrs. Ant. I'll do exactly what you told me to.
The little ladybird replied with an eagerness she could not hide. Then, stretching her wings, she flew away low over the flowers and the hay, with one big wish, that she would see the little yellow honeybee. Miss Honeybee was very busy. Collecting pollen isn't easy. She scooped it up and was ready to go when someone, somewhere not far below, with a tiny voice said,
"Miss Honeybee, please don't go away. Please wait for me."
She looked around, as anyone would. The source of the sound was a red ladybird.
"She looks strangely pale,"
Miss Honeybee thought, then let out a wail.
"What's wrong with your coat?"
"Something is wrong,"
the ladybird said.
"I've cried all day long and I am upset. Splashed by raindrops yesterday, I think my dots were washed away from my shiny coat and dress. This is why I'm so depressed. I can fly and I can even crawl, but I can't draw black dots at all. It would be wonderful right now if you could draw black dots somehow."
"This is very sad indeed. Please calm down a little bit. I cannot draw a single dot on your red dress and shiny coat. I think black dots on any dress might turn it quickly into a mess. I don't have much time for fashion, but black and yellow stripes are good. This is what I wear with passion, and I'm sure you also would."
"What Mrs. Ant told me is not true. It seems you can't fix my dress can you?"
Ladybird asked with sadness and fear, wiping her sorrow tear by tear.
Wait a moment, Ladybird. Mr. Cricket, I have heard, has many talents. He is kind and artistically inclined. Dot making seems an art to me, so Mr. Cricket you should see. Take from me this honey pie. Good luck, dear, and goodbye.
"Thanks, Miss Honeybee. I'll do exactly what you told me to."
The little ladybird replied with an eagerness she could not hide. Then, stretching her wings, she flew away low over the flowers in the hay. For long she fluttered around in search of Cricket's chirping sound. Mr. Cricket wakes up early, sometimes tired, never surly, stays in bed for a minute or two, takes a bath with morning dew, then plays violin to wake up the sun, and eats his breakfast, a tea with a bun. Today, he neither played for the sun nor took his cup of tea with the bun. His violin had no strings at all. He'd played last night and broke them all. So Mr. Cricket was busy. Changing strings is never easy. With his violin resting on his leg, he was changing strings, peg after peg. And then he was gently tuning each until it had its perfect pitch. While he was doing this delicate job, all of a sudden, he heard someone's sob. A tiny voice behind the tree said,
"Mr. Cricket, please help me."
He looked around, as anyone would. The source of the sound was a red ladybird. He quickly lifted his violin and placed it right below his chin, and then, with the artistic intuition of every talented musician, it didn't take him very long to wrap his question into a song. "Oh, ladybird, you look so sad, you look so hurt. Oh, please don't cry, don't make me blue. Tell me what is wrong with you. Oh." His violin creaked and spread around 5-6 notes of a sorrowful sound.
"Something is wrong,"
the ladybird said.
"I've cried all day long, and I am upset. Splashed by raindrops yesterday, I think my dots were washed away from my shiny coat and dress. This is why I'm so depressed. It would be wonderful right now if you could draw black dots somehow. Since I don't have a single dot, am I a ladybug or not?"
Oh, of course you are. I like you a lot, even without the dots on your coat. I am a musician. I can play notes, but I cannot draw even a few dots.
"My clothes without dots are like a day without any light,"
Ladybird declared in fear, wiping her sorrow tear by tear. "Ladybird, I think you're right. A day without light is night. It's like a violin without strings, or a cricket who never ever sings. I don't have a single clue what to say or what to do." Suddenly, I don't know why, he thought of Mrs. Butterfly and the way he'd been impressed by her modern wedding dress. She had dots and golden rings on her yellow-brownish wings. "Oh, Ladybird, don't cry, my dear. I have a friend not far from here. She'll tell us from whom she got her nice dress with big black dots."
"But who is she? I want to know."
"Mrs. Butterfly. Let's go, let's go."
"Oh, yes, I saw her yesterday. She passed by me and flew away. Mrs. Butterfly is pretty and witty,"
said Ladybird, and started a ditty.
When you have a real friend, nothing you should fear. Friends are those who come right when all others disappear.
Then Mr. Cricket jumped with a smile. His joy was very clear. While dancing in his cricket style, he played the song by ear. They sang and danced and flew away above the flowers in the hay, so happy that they could rely on help from Mrs. Butterfly. funny stories. He'll make you forget your worries.
A true friend will do impossible things.
Like finding music in you, even when you don't sing.
No matter what you need to do, a true friend will be there for you.
And respect your strangest thoughts, like searching for some missing dots. A true friend will do impossible things, like finding music in you, even when you don't sing. A true friend will do impossible things, like finding music in you, even when you don't sing. Their lovely songs were fading out. But the last that I heard, without a doubt, was that there is nothing wrong in building a friendship with a song. It was hot. The sun was high. In days like this, Mrs. Butterfly was resting in her flower bed with her wings broadly spread. Her attention was captured by two flying dots far in the sky. But when they came a bit closer, she recognized the composer and said,
Mr. Cricket, how do you do?
"Hello! We are looking just for you. We came to ask you for advice. But if I have to be precise, Ladybird needs help, my dear. That's the reason we are here."
Oh, of course. I will do my best. Please sit down and be my guests. I am curious to find what is on your worried mind. The story is long.
Ladybird said.
I've cried all day and I am upset. Splashed by raindrops yesterday, I think my dots were washed away from my shiny coat and dress. This is why I'm so depressed. It would be wonderful right now if you could draw black dots somehow.
Mrs. Butterfly paused for thought. Then Mr. Cricket cleared his throat and cautiously said from his seat, "Oh, forgive me if I'm not discreet, but since I saw your pretty dress, I am in awe, I must confess. Day and night, I wonder who made this lovely dress for you with black dots and golden rings at the end of both your wings."
Mother Nature made my dress with her golden magic press. She stamps the colors and the form of every creature, plant, and stone. She paints all colors in the sky and shapes the clouds passing by in an endless magical parade. Is this part of her strange trade?
Asked Ladybird, emotionally stirred.
Of course,
Replied Mrs. Butterfly.
Sometimes for a joke or for delight, she mixes rain with sunshine light until all raindrops start to glow, arranged in a wonderful rainbow. Oh, yes, I know. I have to say, I saw the rainbow yesterday. Since Mother Nature does it all, for her it won't be a task at all to draw dots on my dress and coat. Am I right or am I not?
Mrs. Butterfly was ready to reply, but hugged the Ladybird instead, then looked into her eyes and said,
You're right indeed. Patience, this is all you need. When the time is right, I guess, Mother Nature's magic press will stamp 7 dots on your red gown to show the world that you have grown. Until then, fly high, sing, dance, and play like children do day after day.
Suddenly they all heard, "Hooray! I am speechless, so I'll play." They quickly looked around and saw, on a daisy, Mr. Cricket was singing and dancing like crazy. From his song they understood exactly the source of his good mood. He sang, "Ladybird, hey, Ladybird, please don't be sad, don't be hurt. Ladybird, your dots are back on your round little back. Woohoo! Ladybird checked her coat and dress. She was amazed. She was impressed.
Wow! Mother Nature showed the world that I have grown,
said Ladybird.
With 3 black dots on each side, I feel as happy as a bride.
1 more in the middle, Mr. Cricket crooned, playing on his fiddle in perfect tune. Little Beetle came around. He joined in with a humming sound, and tried to keep the beat by drumming with his feet. Later, Mrs. Butterfly was able to arrange for guests a table. This was just in time, I guess, for the first official guest, Mr. Spider, black and swift, arrived with a precious gift, a homemade green aphids cake.
The same as my mother used to bake,
exclaimed Ladybird with joy. Oh, I'm glad the gift wasn't a toy, since Mother Nature has granted your wish. The link to your youth is your mother's dish. Oh, Mr. Spider, you are wise. Your expression was concise, said Mrs. Ant, who cooked a stew from 3 golden grains boiled in dew. Miss Honeybee proudly brought from home 2 jars of honey and 1 honeycomb. The guests stayed all night long, singing Mother Nature's songs. The party finished late at night with fireworks extremely bright in the clear summer sky, courtesy of Miss Firefly. I was there to show respect to Mother Nature's might. I sang and danced among all guests until the morning light. On that extraordinary night, I made a wish to tell the story of this little ladybird's life, filled with joy and childish worries. And suddenly, she landed on my thumb.
I wish you luck.
It seemed I heard her say. I blew her away and said, go back home. And there it is. My wish has come true today. Like searching for some missing dots. A true friend is impossible things, like finding music in you, even when you don't sing. A true friend is impossible things, like finding music in you, even when you don't sing.